Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Today we're going to start talking about designing or like writing your own song or finding a song online to copy and make your own music. Okay, so when um, when I go to find music for this, which each of you can choose your own song, you want to first of all search for like a really simple song. Okay, so think things like nursery rhyme, similar to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Mary Had a Little Lamb, Old MacDonald, stuff like that are pretty great. Um, you want to avoid songs that have a 3/4 timing in them. Okay, it's great for the floss, but it's not so great for the Arduino timing because this produces like fractions and integers can only hold whole numbers. Okay, so a 3/4 timing, and again, I'm not a music person, but a 3/4 timing means that for every measure, there are 3/4 notes. So here's like 1, 2, 3 notes for this measure, and then the next measure here, this is a half note, and then these are 2/8 notes to make up the extra quarter. So half plus an eighth is 3/4. Um, but again, when you go to create this in Arduino, it becomes a lot more complicated. And for some of you who are musically inclined, perhaps you can figure this out. But for the most part, I would avoid 3/4 songs. So when I go to search for a song, I'm going to do Mary Had a Little Lamb. I say Mary Had a Little Lamb, easy typically, okay? Easy music or easy sheet music, something like that. And ideally, when we go looking for a song, we want, especially for those of us who do not know how to read music, we want to find a song that has the notes and the um, and like what each one is. So like when I look at this here, we go through with Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. Um, and when we start looking at this, we can take the information that's above along with the information that's below and combine them together. Um, so when we start to play this thing here, when we look at these notes, I'll zoom in on this so we can all see it better, maybe. Um, a note with a solid piece and a line coming up. This is a quarter note. A note that is hollow in the middle with a line coming up. That is a half note. And a line, or I'm sorry, just a circle with no line. This is a whole note. Okay, so when we start going through this and we start writing this down, this here has to do with this up here as well. Mary had a little lamb. Okay, so when we think about that and we look down here, Mary had a little lamb. Notice that the lamb is a half note, and like we extend it out, little lamb, little lamb. All right, I know, great singer, great singer. Okay, so Mary had a little lamb, little lamb. So like, Mary had a little lamb. This E note is a half note. Okay, and then like at the end, whose fleece was white as snow. Snow is a C note, and it is a whole note. Okay, so we really want to find, and again, some people take music class, and you can read that very easily. I personally don't know how to read sheet music, so I'm always looking for something that is like this. So when I come into my circuit. As of right now, I've copied all of my notes. So you can see like this is an E4, D4, C4, D4, right, going along with this. I have them all in the fourth octave for right now. I can edit that later on. As of right now, I've also set up every note in here as a quarter note. So headphone users beware, it's going to potentially get loud here, so you might want to turn it down a little bit, but let's start the simulation. Okay. So that sounded funny at this point for primarily the first reason is our note length. Okay. Second reason is maybe a couple octave differences that we need to take a look at, although I'm not sure about that. But let's take a look here. Oops. So when we start looking at this, Mary had a little lamb right here. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This note is a half note. So I'm going to replace the quarter with a 4. And then we go into little lamb. That's this note here, little lamb, little lamb. And again, notice how like although here it's like both of these lines equals this first line, okay? And the first line here equals the first line there, second line there, okay? So I'm just breaking these things out easier for me to see. And then it says little lamb, and then the last note here is a half note. So let's try changing those and let's start our simulation. Okay, so my computer seems like it's lagging. The like when I start this thing, it kind of like drags on. I think that just has to do with a bug in the system. Okay, everything is a quarter note, so they should be the same. Now, the other thing too. Yeah, my computer is not having the recording. Yeah, so my computer's not really trying to record this and trying to play it at the same time. But you're just gonna have to take my word for it that it sounds pretty decent right now. One thing that I do want to try, and again, not a music guy personally, but I want to just see these really low notes. I want to see what if going to a lower octave would be better for those notes. One, yeah, basically all these ones here. So let's just give that a go here. So 1, 2, third note, 1, 2, third note. So I think I told you guys backwards before. Like if I change this to a C3 and I start. Okay, that 3 lowers the octave. A 5 is going to raise my octave. Okay, so if I set this to be 3, we can listen to it. Yeah, I don't think so. So I'm just going to leave that at 4. And play it. But sometimes you have to like edit your octaves. Like if you notice you're going through and it doesn't quite sound right, then you're going to go through and edit your octave. So again, when I look through this here, I want to look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a half note. Then 1, 2, half note, 1, 2, half note. All quarter notes, all quarter notes. Oh, and then at the end here, this isn't a half note. This is a whole note. Okay, so we'll give that a go. No, it really doesn't like to record here. So I'll see if I can record that afterwards and play it for you guys. But the goal for this week is to create any sort of nursery rhyme music in Arduino and then share that song with me. At the top here, in your constants and stuff, take this and just make sure to include, again, your name, your period, and in this case, include the name. Okay. And then you guys can turn in your song to me and I will check it out. All right. So take a look for some easy sheet music. Compare your notes to the length of time. Again, quarter note, half note, whole note. Stick with like a 4/4, 4/4 song. Okay, that means that there's 4 quarter notes in a measure versus like 3. And again, like when we look at this, we have 1/4, 2 quarters plus a half. So 1/4 plus 2 quarters is a half plus a half is a whole. That's what gives us our 4 quarter notes. All right, and have fun with it. Okay, if it doesn't come out perfect, that's all right. We're just really looking for something as close to the music as possible. Okay, have fun with this week. Email me with questions. Talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.